Good morning. Today is 16th of June 2020. Today I will talk something different other than awareness, other than aircraft structure, other than risk management or risk engineering. I would like to go to talk about OSH. OSH is occupational health and safety. So this is not general OSH. I would like to discuss on OSH for the aircraft accident investigators. And in Malaysia, we do have OSH Act, which is a legal framework for the workforce to protect them in terms of their health and safety. And we have been in relation to that workforce. I would like to discuss on the aircraft accident incident investigator, which I consider this is workforce. And obviously there are two category of this group of people. There are some seconded or they are from the military, and some are the government employee employed by Ministry of Transport, and they are, I believe, as part of the workforce, which we need to really look at their health and safety while doing the investigation. The problem here is I was doing several investigations when I was with CA, and also I was one of the team member for MH370. We have not went to the site. We have no site for 370. What is important that I've been through this IQ manual on the aircraft accident investigation, and we are reading more, learning more on the manual IQ Doc 9756, which is a manual of aircraft accident incident investigation. And when the first thing that appear on the manual, the first thing on the list is site survey, site security. That's the first item, but there is no item which are focusing on the safety and health of the investigator at site, or they're going into the site. So I believe I've been looking at the SOP around the world for this kind of thinking. Some argue, yeah, they do have it, and they do have it as part of their process preparing themselves to the site. Okay, the point is there's no proper, in fact IQ itself does not have a guidance detail so far, that as far as I know, which are focusing on the safety and health of the investigator. I believe those, even though we are rushing to the site, we want to make sure all the evidence are preserved, and we want to ensure the root cause are found. However, as investigator, I believe we should always think of ourselves first, because it is not safe, the area. There are a lot of risks, a lot of risks in the site. For example, there could be diseases there. It could be if the structure which was burned is carbon composite or graphite fiber. This is a carbon dust all around, and there are many issues. For the large aircraft, you may have wreckages, you may have falling debris over your head. So those are kind of risks that you encounter during the site. Maybe the site at the slope, slippery, and maybe in the mud, or there are some accident in the in the swamp, there are alligators, there are python and snake. So how we prepare for it? How to ensure that we are still safe, we're still healthy after doing the investigation. So we should have look at this as a research issue or as an issue to be investigated, an issue to be addressed, especially during the COVID. So we may have problem, maybe the vehicle, the aircraft was carrying COVID patients or the COVID victims, bodies of deceased COVID, or there may be a potential COVID passenger, and how you want to go into the site with this kind of situation. Not just COVID, any airborne diseases like Ebola and things like that. So I believe what we need to do is we need to develop SOP for the investigator to go to the site to ensure they are safe. The risks are minimized. So we have to have SOP, which we can't have SOP which is generic SOP for the investigators. It could be overboard because there are accident site also varies. It's not generic. You could have doing the investigation in the snow, in the lake, in the river, in the oceans like MH370, or maybe in the housing area which has been is burning and all the buildings are collapsing. So we can't have SOP aspect of OSH, generic SOP for the investigators. So we need to develop SOP which is situational. So we have to have an SOP to develop a situational SOP for the aspect of OSH for the aircraft accident investigator. So what we're trying to do now, we have a small research which we are now trying to study what is ICAO views of the aspect of OSH for the investigators, and what are other investigation authority in the world perceive the safety of these investigators. And then we look at what is how to develop a situational SOP, which is not generic, which is not suitable for all. We need to generate SOP to generate a situational SOP for each kind of accident cases. So that is, I think, one reason why there is no SOP, generic SOP. There is no SOP for OSH because we can't build generic SOP. So we need to have generic SOP, which we need to have an SOP to develop this generic SOP. And my recommendation is we use the technique of failure mode effect analysis, FMEA. Failure mode effect analysis, which has been used a lot in the industry. In fact, the medical industry has been using this. The pharmacists has been using this. So they're looking at the process. There is a design FMEA, process FMEA, system FMEA. So design FMEA looking at the failure of the component, process FMEA looking at the failure of the process, system looking at the system. So we can consider here, we may modify to look at the policy. So we may say policy FMEA. FMEA failure mode effect analysis will list out what is the process step. In this case, what will be the process step of you going into the site? What will be the failure of the process? What will be the effect of the failure? And what are the current control to minimize the effect, and what are the detection, how we detect the process failure. So this is the technique that we use for FMEA, and we may use this technique to develop SOP for the accident investigators in terms of OSH aspect. So this is something that we study, and we will report the finding of the study. So you will see more of this discussion later, which are more detailed regarding this aspect of OSH for the aircraft accident investigators.